Will a Lambo beat a Cybertruck? Is FSD safe? Do these idiots get caught? And we look at the Cybercab in this week's Tesla News. Welcome to this week's Tesla News. I'm Tesla Dave, bringing you all the latest news from the internet. First of all, let's kick off with Elon Musk.
I always sort of think, like, what will the future look like in 5 years or 10 years, 20 years? And 5 years from now, autonomous cars are going to be everywhere. Primarily going to be Teslas, by the way. But autonomous Teslas will be everywhere. And I think in 5 years, probably we'll have regulatory approval, I think, globally. So you'll have autonomous Teslas on every continent, taking people on trips, and almost the entire fleet, which will pass 10 million vehicles next year, is capable of full autonomy. So it even without the Cybercab, can now be used potentially for 80, maybe 100 hours a week. So you could have a car that has 10 times the usefulness of a non-autonomous car, but it still costs the same. In fact, the fleets are already built. So the software update just enables that capability. Overnight, you have an increase in usefulness of 10 million cars that suddenly become like 50 million cars, or maybe 80 or 100 million cars of usefulness overnight. That's a profound thing. Like, nothing like that has ever happened before. There is no analogy that there's never been something where a software update increased the value of a gigantic asset base by a factor of like 500 to 1,000%. So it's very difficult for, like, people in the stock market, especially those that look in the rearview mirror, which is most people, to imagine a future where suddenly a 10 million vehicle fleet has 5 to 10 times the usefulness. It's so profound, and there's no comparison with anything in the past that it does not compute. But it will compute in the future. And some people like Kathy Wood at ARK Invest do see the future. So what I'm saying is, hang on to your stock. So yeah, it's mind blowing. Then I want to give a shout out to service. Service is a tough job, an important job, and it's actually what sells cars long term. Because the initial car is sold with sales, but all future cars are sold with service. And I always encourage our service team, like, let's try to give people a service experience that they love. Not merely that they like, but that they love. Because people will talk about something that they love, that was an amazing experience, but they don't talk that much about things that they like. You have to really do something amazing. And then they'll talk about it and be like, wow, that's incredible.
So amazing. Our Teslas can be used for the Robotaxi network. Up to 10 million cars, he says. But also, the purposely produced Cybertaxi is now out testing now, as production this year ramps up from April. But is FSD safe? Well, of course, this isn't FSD, this is a random clip, but he survived.
Tonight, a story about a split-second decision that saved a life. When we usually talk about self-driving cars, it's after something goes wrong. A glitch, a failure, an accident. This story is different. On a lonely stretch of Highway 54 in New Mexico, Clifford Lee says he's alive tonight, not because of his own reflexes, but because of his Cybertruck, in full self-driving mode, made the decision for him. Check this out. Keep your eyes on the headlights in the distance. In about 10 seconds, You will see a life or death decision that will take your breath away.
Then it hit me that I almost got killed, actually. I was shaking uncontrollably for a while.
Clifford Lee was heading northbound on a long road trip through New Mexico on Highway 54, using Tesla's full self-driving mode, or FSD.
It is a 2-lane highway.
A massive big rig was heading his way. Behind it, the driver of a pickup truck, growing impatient. All Clifford saw were headlights.
I think it was like a 5-second out. And around the 3-second, I realized he would not make it. He doesn't look like he was making any progress in front of the semi. And I couldn't tell exactly whether he was already beyond the center line or not, but he was getting so close. I'm traveling 75 at the time. I tried to jerk it and already car was moving.
There was no room for error. An overcorrection would have bounced Clifford's Cybertruck off the guardrail.
And I tried to turn around and FSD must be kicked in. Quite frankly, I don't remember what I did and when I did what.
Here it is, slowed down and multiple angles. He says FSD surgically maneuvered the Cybertruck out of a potentially deadly head-on.
And it's not just in the USA. Safety is being reported as a positive. Here we have a report from the Netherlands.
Autonoma di Tesla, sviluppata da Elon Musk. Negli Stati Uniti ha permesso ad un automobilista di raggiungere il pronto soccorso in sicurezza dopo un infarto improvviso. Siamo saliti su una Model 3. Stiamo sperimentando la guida autonoma supervisionata. Attraverso questa telecamera la macchina capisce se il conducente è attento o meno. Nei Paesi Bassi, dopo una serie di prove, si dovranno stabilire nuove leggi che possano permettere la circolazione di veicoli a guida autonoma. Se questi test saranno superati, entro il prossimo febbraio potremmo avere questo tipo di macchine su strada in Europa.
So I am currently not driving the Tesla Model Y long range. I am being driven by Tesla's full self-driving Supervised. This looks weird, right? This looks really strange. I'll tell you now, I'm an absolute skeptic when it comes to this stuff. I'm like, do we need that? Isn't that going to make everyone a really bad driver? But sitting here feels a lot more natural than it should. I actually feel really calm. I feel like I'm driving, but like I'm looking over my own shoulder driving. I feel like I could intervene at any time, and I can take over. I have to look at the road. It will beep at you if you're not paying attention, so I can't pick up a phone and look at that or anything like that. It's very clear what it's doing here. It's got its own little path. It changes lanes. It slows for everything. It turns. It does everything. And I've done a mix now of city driving and driving on the M1, so freeway driving, high speed, and it was seamless. I had to do one little intervention back there because it was going to try and turn from the left lane, which is incorrect. But we've got a red light here and it's slowing down for the lights. It's seeing everything here on the screen. I do worry that we may trust this technology to our detriment in that maybe I'm not as alert as I should be in terms of intervening. So that's one thing I have a concern about. But it's so good that thus far I'm a bit of a convert. And this is just, I love this car. It's an amazing vehicle. And I've got the same feeling I had when I drove the Tesla Model 3 back in 2019, where I just went, this is the future. Wow. And I haven't really had that feeling since. And I've got that same feeling again. See, I would have gone that way. That's a weird way to go. That's probably quicker. But then this is probably on its own satellite maps, and maybe it is actually quicker to go this way. I'll be curious. Oh, okay, it's going to go down this road. Yeah, I wouldn't have done that. There you go. So there you go. Tesla's full self-driving Supervised. I'm quietly blown away. There you go.
And what about driving in the fog or bad weather conditions? People argue that the cameras won't pick up all the information they need, but as you can clearly see, it's absolutely, well, it's raining cats and dogs, as we say here in the UK, and it's foggy. It's typical sort of British weather, isn't it? And that's summertime. But as you can see, this driver of the Cybertruck is just sat there relaxed doing 60. Easy peasy. And talking of Cybertrucks, what is faster, a Cybertruck or a Lamborghini? Let's find out. So this brings us on to the section now where we compare car manufacturers to Tesla.
I pull up, stuff in the kitchen, let's go. Brand new Lamborghini, a cop car, with a pistol on my hip like I'm a cop.
Oh shit. Oh!
Idiots.
Oh my god.
Of course, most Tesla owners treat the cars with respect, and Tesla does some wonderful things to help us as drivers. You heard about the story earlier about where it took somebody to hospital when they had a heart attack, where it saved somebody's life. It's also helping, as we've seen in previous episodes, the elderly get back into vehicles and also the disabled. In this next section, we look at everything useful a Tesla can do.
I'm ready to race.
So, David Moss's father, Gary, lost his vision a couple of years ago due to a cancerous tumour. He was lucky enough to actually take a loan car, a Model Y, with SmartSum and give his father the feeling of driving again. And it was just a joy to see the incredible moment on his face. Amazing.
Fun. I'm hungry now.
The external power output of the Terra model is stable, the electronic sliding intervention is obvious, and the efficiency is relatively high, and it finally passes all items easily. Due to urban SUV characteristics, the approach, departure, and passing angles are relatively limited. Additionally, the chassis faces slight congestion challenges during the snow A-Wave test project.
And here we go, FSD flawlessly going through a toll booth. No issue whatsoever. Not just toll booths, we can do tunnels as well. Here we have the line of Teslas that go under the conference center at this year's CES. It's the Tesla tunnels that go under Las Vegas. This lady is happy as Tesla FSD version 14.2.2.2 masters the impossible and slides perfectly into an ultra tight parking spot. Happy lady. So how cool is this? You can now, on the latest update, pause the dashcam clips and then zoom right in and see the video. So that helps with seeing signs. So you almost crop it. And the clarity is a lot better. Amazing for getting the details, especially if there's an accident, you need details for the insurance. What a machine! Again, was just saying, as Arthur's reporting here on Twitter, the phenomenal job Tesla does of parking in spots while avoiding places that are not allowed to park in. Literally searches for the parking. We're seeing this time and time again on Tesla News. FSD just seems to make people's lives safer and easier. So why it's not legislated for yet in Europe is beyond belief. But as Elon says, eventually everyone will have the legislation. So Tesla, it's many things to many people. And one thing we've not covered is how it can cover all the elements. We saw the fog earlier with the Cybertruck. Now let's see how this Tesla makes a starring role in this news report about floods. She doesn't comment, but you can clearly see the Tesla 3, just no issue whatsoever. Then afterwards, we'll see how Tesla can quickly defrost, quicker than any petrol, gas, ice car, literally ice car, when the snow falls.
San Diego faced a deluge as a month's worth of rain fell within hours, marking it one of the top 15 wettest days on record. Over 2 inches of rain inundated the city to start the year, flooding roads and stranding vehicles. Drivers struggled to navigate through the high water, creating dangerous conditions across the region. This powerful weather highlighted the city's vulnerability to sudden intense rainfall and the challenges it poses for residents and emergency services alike.
Perfect. Ready to go.
So we now look at the difference between the standard model Y, which has just been released, and the premium edition. And then, new for 2026, we've got the black interior. So we'll have a quick look around there. And then we'll take a look at the new lighting for indicating. And finally, take a look at Grok navigating. Unfortunately, we don't have that in Europe. Again, we're missing out, but hopefully it will come soon. GDPR issues, apparently.
Scotiabank Arena in Toronto. It's 36 miles away, about 40 minutes. arriving around 2:45 a.m.
Along the way, I need to take out some cash. Can you stop at a bank?
Got it. Added an RBC Royal Bank ATM on Brock Street North in Whitby as your first stop. It's open 24/7 and just adds 4 minutes. Then straight to Scotiabank Arena, arriving around 2:07 a.m.
I'm feeling kind of hungry. Is there a McDonald's along the way you can stop at?
Added a 24/7 McDonald's on Taunton Road East in Whitby as your next stop after the ATM. We'll hit it quick, then to Scotiabank Arena by around 2:08 a.m.
Is there parking near Scotiabank Arena?
Yes, there's Scotiabank Arena Lot 229, right at 50 Bay Street in Toronto. Open 24/7. It'll be your spot when we arrive.
Can you put that as the final destination?
Done. Swap the final stop to Scotiabank Arena Lot 229 at 50 Bay Street. Still arriving around 2:08 a.m. after the ATM and McDonald's.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Safe travels.
Loving Grok there, can't wait for that. But also like the black headlining which you got in the video before that. Or was it the video before that one? I don't know, my memory's going. I hope you're keeping up. Anyway, I call Tesla because I quite like it because I've got a Juniper with a white interior and apparently it's £1,500 in the UK to have it retrofit. Not bad. Anyway, moving on. The one thing I like about Teslas is you can personalize them. So when you park, you can make sound effects like this. Then a video showing you how to do it.
And his name is John Cena.
Pikachu, Pikachu?
I'll be back.
The Force is with you, young Skywalker.
Have you ever wanted a custom Tesla lock sound like this one? I'm going to show you how. So first things first, you need to open up your glove box and you need to grab the USB drive that's in there. Squeeze your hand in there and try to grab it. I know it's really hard. Then you are going to plug this into your computer, your MacBook, your iMac, whatever you have. You're just going to plug it in. Give it permission to connect and then go into your Finder. You'll only have the Tesla cam folder when you plug that in. Then you're going to search for an online soundboard and find a sound you like. You are then going to download that sound. If you get it from this website, it will be an MP3. This is a crucial step. You have to convert that MP3 file to a WAV file. If it is not a WAV file, it will not work in your Tesla, so it's very important you don't skip this step. So you're just going to convert the MP3 file to a WAV file and then download that. Please do not skip this step. I cannot tell you how crucial it is. Once you have it converted to a WAV file, you are going to have to rename it. You are going to name it Lock Chime. One word, capital L, capital C. It has to be named exactly this. Then you are going to drag it down to that Tesla USB drive that you have, and it will then appear. Make sure you eject it safely and then walk it back out to your car and take your hand and try to plug it back in. This required me to stop recording. Eventually, though, you will get it in there. Now, after you have it plugged back in, you are going to go to your toy box and you're going to open the boombox feature. And once you have the boombox feature opened, you are going to hit the drop down and then select USB. As you can see, the sound plays. Then when you get out of your car,
how about this for a smart idea? This guy has personalized his button to do the shift forward and backwards. Oh, I do like to be beside the seaside. On this, it just proves that unlike Waymo, where you need LiDAR and radar and your city mapped out, Tesla can go anywhere, even on the beach. So that's it for this edition of Tesla News. I hope you've enjoyed it. We've seen a lot and discovered a lot. And if you have enjoyed it, please don't forget to like and subscribe. And please do comment below, and I'll get back to every message, hopefully. Anyway, we're now living in the future. I remember seeing a film called I, Robot, and I leave you with this. It's a comparison between the film I, Robot and what is now. The past proves the future. And where did Elon Musk get all that inspiration from? Until next time, I'll see you soon. Until next time, I'll see you soon. That doesn't make any sense. Really need to get a script writer.